episode of Mr. Badger Talks to Utter Scum. And I'm here with a returning guest on the show, Mr. Songus. How are you, Songus?
I'm very good, thank you, Badger. How are you?
I'm all right. You're looking different today, Songus.
I didn't have makeup on last time.
So you copied me lipstick.
Yeah, you're my inspiration. You're
Right,
a true
most people-
style icon.
I don't inspire many people apart from with fear. That's the way that I tend to do it. So yeah, what's the reason for you dressing up like a Taiwanese ladyboy?
I'm gender fluid, so I usually do wear makeup. It's just last time I didn't have any with me, but this time I'm at my house, so I'm able to put on makeup today.
What's Gengi fluids?
So I'm not male or female. I identify as kind of neither. So I'm not like a trans person. I don't transition into a different gender.
You've got a cock and fanny.
My cock is small enough that it could be a fanny, but biologically I have a penis.
But you have a biological penis.
Yeah.
But you'll stick it into a bum of either sex.
Yeah. Yes.
So is that not bisexual?
Yeah. So I'm also bisexual, but at the same time I'm gender fluid. So it's like I don't see myself as a man or as a woman. I just see myself as Sam. I'm just a person.
If you were Samantha, that could be a woman.
Yeah, exactly. So I've had to change my name because I used to be on my birth certificate. It's the full version of Sam. That has Samuel on my birth certificate, but because that was like very much like a masculine name, which only men would be called, I've changed it to Sam. But everyone called me Sam anyway, so it was easy.
Is that your wife behind you?
This is my best friend and international skinny legend, Trixie Mattel.
I thought it was Lenny Henry.
They're very similar. Trixie Mattel and Lenny Henry are basically the same person. I think they were in inspirations for each other.
It does look like Lenny Henry has decided to dress up as Barbie. Is Trixie? Was it Trixie Mattel? Was it
Trixie Mattel? Yeah.
Is she a gender fluid?
No, she's a drag queen. So it's like so she's like a performer. So she'll dress up as her actual name's Brian. So Brian will dress up as Trixie, and then she does like comedy and music, but dressed up like that.
Yeah. Well, why does Brian have to be called Trixie? Why doesn't he? If he's a comedian, why doesn't he just do comedy as himself?
Because he's not a comedian. It's kind of a drag show is very different. So it's this like putting on a persona. So it's like, in a way, it's like a character. So if there was like a comedian who wanted to tell paedophile jokes, they could put on like a badger outfit to do it, and it's sort of a similar thing. So they put on the makeup and they dress up as a woman to do like a completely different kind of show.
I've got you. So if you were, say, a terrible comedian that couldn't get gigs, you could just put makeup on and say you're gender fluid. Then people would have to book you to tick some boxes.
That's how I started, and then I got good, and now I get booked on.
Then you got trapped. You got to dick up the bum, and you were like, "There's no going back from this."
Yes, that's 100% what happened. You smashed it.
Yes. So, I take it gender fluid. Then it's not specific to someone who was originally born a man. You could have a female gender fluid.
Yeah, you can. Anyone can be gender fluid.
Have you ever tasted the gender fluids?
On numerous occasions, yes.
Which gender fluid?
I've tasted a variety of people's gender fluids. I've tasted a variety of species gender fluid, a variety of sexualities gender fluid. I'm very much a connoisseur.
Have you tasted Brian's?
I wish I had tasted Trixie Mattel's gender fluid.
Is that on your bucket list? And I don't mean a bucket of gender fluid. I mean, would you just like to just have a little nibble?
Yeah, just I've been such a huge fan of their work for so long that
Hang on, so when you say of there's more than one?
Well, no, so I don't think they're gender fluid, but when I'm referring to drag queens, I use they, them, because it's Brian and it's Trixie, but they're the same person, but in the same way that Steve Coogan and Alan Partridge, they're the same person, but they're he dresses up as a different kind of person. It's like it's a character, so I use they, them pronouns. So I'll say I'm a big fan of their work to mean Brian and Trixie, who are the same person.
So if it's two different things, it's they, them.
Yes, but also, so with me, I don't use he, him pronouns because that would identify me as a man. So I use they, them pronouns because it's not confined to one gender. Because I'm not. So, what
I don't understand is then, does that mean that sometimes you feel like you've got a fanny?
No, it's for me. It's more the feeling that I don't fit in with what's meant, the stereotypes that men are meant to be.
Like
and
me?
I feel, yeah, because you're a badger.
No, but I'm a manly man.
Exactly. So I'd feel uncomfortable being
Lots of people feel uncomfortable around me.
That's true. So if someone said, "Oh, are you like Mr. Badger because he's manly?" I'd be like, "No, because I feel very uncomfortable with the idea of being linked as that. I always felt really out of place being linked as a man."
Yeah. So,
and then there was a bit of time where I'd wear a dress and tried seeing if identifying more as a woman would help, and it didn't really sort much. But then when I put makeup on, I kind of felt a lot more relaxed and I felt more like myself. So I feel.
But to the older people that'll be listening to this, it's a bit like I tell you, you're a comedian, aren't you?
Some would say so. Yeah.
Not many. So, you're aware of the comedian Eddie Izzard?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Because he originally started out comedy as a man, didn't he?
Yeah,
and
he did.
It was he started wearing makeup on stage, and he wouldn't wear like a dress, but sometimes he'd wear women's shoes and so on and so forth.
Yeah, he gave me mascara.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that like a euphemism?
I went to see him live, and afterwards he was signing books, and yeah, me and mascara.
Euphemism?
100% some Louis C.K. shit going on
he
with
was
Eddie.
Signing your book, right? He was signing right up your book, and you went, "Oh, mascaras!" Did he give you scars? Is that what's happened?
Eddie Izzard's dick is so big that I now have to sew my arsehole shut after a shit.
Yeah. You shouldn't bother. You should just have them little Play-Doh shapes where you can put them in and make triangles or cubes or whatever. Like a little slide, you just move up and down depending on what shape you want.
I sometimes, if I've not got stitches, I have to glue tack it shut. But then they get stuck and it doesn't work as well. So
you can have poppers like on a duvet.
Yes.
So we're going back to that time when Eddie Izzard raped you. So he calls himself a he, doesn't he?
I think he does. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's come out as gender fluid or non-binary.
Because the thing is as well, he's traditionally quite like a manly man, bar the makeup and the accessories.
Yeah, I think there are some people who just like wearing makeup and without like, they just don't see gender as something which they want in society. So like Harry Styles was on the front cover of Vogue wearing a dress recently, and they've said in interviews that they don't identify anyway. They just don't think clothes and makeup should have a gender because they're just items.
I've seen Harry Styles wearing nothing but a thong.
You're very lucky. I'm very jealous of you there.
He wasn't aware of this fact. It's I gave him some Mr. Badger's magic tablets, and he woke up on a hotel bed quite confused.
I might need to borrow some of those tablets when I see him in March.
Well, technically, you've already had. I mean,
yeah, if I just bomb them up again.
Yeah, that's. You might have had some. Who knows?
No evidence has been disclosed just yet.
Have you ever found maggots seeping out of your anus?
Well, no, I don't find many things to just fall out after Eddie Izzard fucked me.
There we go. So, but there's another thing then, when it comes to your gender, that's what basically what you feel, isn't it?
Yes.
Not what you feel with your hands, you dirty bastard. It's what you feel inside, and again, not what you feel inside with your fingers.
Yeah, it's. I think gender's something which has just been forced on people. Like
I've forced my gender on people before.
I've had your gender forced on me multiple times, Badger.
Yeah, you were a good boy. You didn't complain. In fact, you wanted more.
I loved it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So your gender is something that society forces on you.
I think they've given us some bizarre stereotypes where they're like, men have to wear blue and you have to like football and have to do this and have to do that. And I just think, why? I don't want to do those kind of things. I don't feel comfortable doing anything. I want to wear makeup, and I'm not going to wear makeup just because society goes, that's just for women. I'm like, you can fuck off. I want to wear makeup, so I'm going to.
Fair enough. Yeah, my way of looking at things is like, you can do whatever you want to do, even if it makes parents and kids unhappy. It's a free country. I'm glad you agree. So,
to an extent, I agree.
Yeah, it can't extend anymore. It's quite floppy.
Get flashbacks to Eddie Izzard.
Yeah. Oh dear. So, well, that's the other thing as well with Eddie Izzard and the time that he raped you. So,
Eddie Izzard, yes, he is. Thank you.
Yes, he was. He was very when he was penetrating your gaping cavern. So he is. You're right there. I'm yet to make you honk yet. Oh, there we go. There's the first of many honks. So, do you also identify as a goose? Yes.
I had have I told you I had a message after the last podcast I did with you? Someone messaged me saying, can you just write down what you said to Badger, because I couldn't listen to it because your laugh was so annoying.
Ah, God. Every time you do that, a sea lion somewhere thinks another one's being attacked.
By Eddie Izzard.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm going to give you a quick 5-minute break to get over the sea lion situation. Is that all right, matey?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Right. I'll see you in part 2 on Bongo.
See you soon.
So, we're back for part 2 of Mr. Badger Talks Twitter Scum. I'm here with Samantha. Who knows?
Sam. Just
Sam. Sam. I'm here with Sam, who is sometimes a boy, sometimes a girl. He's a them they.
I'm they. Yes.
Well, I've decided it's quite cool, so I'm a them they too.
I'm proud of you, Mr. Badger.
Do you like my lovely hair?
You look a lot like Trixie Mattel with your makeup and everything. It's
strange because
striking resemblance.
I got given this from a dear friend of mine in his will.
Was his name Brian?
No, his name was Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Oh. Yeah. He gave me this and some jewellery.
Did he give you some cigars as well?
He did, and he gave me a laptop. And he said I could have all of this so long as I burnt the laptop. I don't know what was on it, but yeah, I do like this hair. It's quite nice.
It's beautiful.
It makes me feel. Would you say it makes me look more feminine?
I'd say it's what society would say is more feminine, but then there are men who have hair like that as well. Like people who are biologically male will also have hair like that.
Like Jimmy?
Yeah, like Jimmy, our good friend.
But you think if I wanted to not be gender fluid, if I wanted to identify as a woman, this would probably be a good way of going about it.
It could be, yeah. And there are some people who identify as female, and I know that they wear wigs. Like there are other drag queens like Trixie who do identify as women, and they'll stay looking like that a lot. Like there's a lot of them on Canada's Drag Race were like that.
On Panda Drag Race?
Canada Drag Race.
Canada? Like a goose?
Exactly like a goose, yes. They got my laugh to be the intro music.
So you're saying I don't look like a woman, I look like a drag queen?
There are drag queens who look female as well.
Look,
they don't all look like that.
I'll make it simple for you. If I put this wig on, am I allowed into a woman's toilet?
I mean, nobody would stop you going to a woman's toilet anyway.
Oh, trust me, they've stopped me in the past. They've kicked me out in the past. It was a medical emergency.
I think that could have been because you were in the same cubicle as them. I think that's the problem. They'll let you in the cubicle.
That's the medical emergency. I needed to see a naked lady and piss on her. Or I think I was going to die. It's not a laughing matter. This is life and death. Piss and poo.
Did you shit on her as well?
I don't have the option anymore. When one comes out, the other comes out automatically. I have to wear adult nappies now.
They're meant to be very comfortable.
No, they're not. These ones are made out, I don't know, like Hessian or something. They're NHS ones. The NHS is shit. Burn the NHS.
Burn the NHS like Jimmy Savile's laptop.
Yeah, that's it. Put it all on a bonfire. Oh dear. So while we're on the subject of, we've covered gender, which is what society says you should do and how you should feel. Mm-hmm. So we come on to now sexuality. So would you say you said you were bisexual?
Yes, I'm bisexual.
So the old joke goes, you're bisexual because you're fucking ugly.
I'm both bisexual and ugly, and I have brought sex in the past.
You have bought sex?
Yes.
How old are you?
21.
Fuck you, you look about 14. That's why I was still interested. Oh dear. So you are bisexual?
I'm bisexual, yes.
And so sexuality is nothing to do with your gender, it's what you're attracted to.
Yes, exactly. It's just who I find attractive. So I have a girlfriend at the moment, but I've had
Is she as pretty as me?
I'll find a photo of her. I'll put it as my background. Let's see.
She better be prettier than Brian.
That's her.
I can't really see.
She hates that photo. But that's
Have you got any naked ones of her?
No, she's do I explain this to Badger? She's asexual as well.
What, asexual predator?
No, she's not on the comedy circuit, Badger.
Ow!
She's not on any lists. Anyway, she doesn't have any sexual feelings to anyone, so we don't have sex.
Oh! She's one of them Nigerians that's had the bits cut off.
Not quite. No, she just doesn't like the idea of sex. It makes her uncomfortable. It's like
Yes.
while like my arsehole being broken because Eddie Hazard's 12-inch dick was shoved up it when I was 14, I enjoyed having it up there, but she wouldn't enjoy it. Like the whole experience would be uncomfortable for her.
Well, that's, from my experience, every sexual encounter.
Yeah. How big is a badger penis?
It varies. Like mine used to be roughly 9.5 inches, but it's shrunk with age, and it's now down to only 7 inches.
That is impressive.
Wide.
It's like a SIM card.
It is. So what you're saying is you're dating this girl who won't shag you.
Yes, which is very similar to a lot of relationships I've had in the past.
I was gonna say, why would you be in a relationship with her? Do you do other things?
Well, I'm in a relationship with her because I love her, and even though like I knew she was asexual before, like 2 years before we started dating, so it's purely based on like just being attracted to each other, just not sexually.
I've got a funny feeling she's just draining your bank account. So. Oh dear, she's getting banged by a big black bloke somewhere. Maybe. Have you thought you might be able to get her all juiced up if you took on a bit of Badger style?
I think she has said in the past that she likes Mr. Badger.
Everybody is attracted to Mr. Badger.
With the right drugs.
The reason why they won't put me on the telly is because they don't want the entire of the UK to have an orgasm at the same time. So asexuality is also on the range of sexuality.
Yeah.
Are there any other types? Because obviously you've got gay, straight, bi, asexual. Is there anything else?
There's pansexual, which is it's like bisexual, but it's more inclusive. So you're attracted to all kinds, like people who are gender fluid and people who are non-binary. And there are people who want to get paedophilia on the spectrum.
Hello.
Would you like to be part of the LGBT community, Badger? As
LGBTQP, yes.
LGBTQP, yes, Badger. I think.
Oh dear. I think I might have outed myself here. I'll have to beep that bit out. So we've got sexuality, and the final thing is sex. So how does sex and gender differ?
So sex is the biological aspect, so like XY chromosomes and having a dick or having a vagina. That's sex. So you can have surgery to be a different sex, but for me, gender and sex are very different because sex is something that doesn't change.
That's it, because you can't have an operation to change your chromosomes, can you?
You can be given medication to kind of give you more testosterone and stuff.
Yeah, but not your X and Y chromosomes.
I don't think so, no.
That's when you end up like one of them little stumpy kids, like if you if they fuck about with your chromosomes, you end up like one of them, don't you? Where you live to like 21 with a massive tongue. So sex is pretty much what you're born as genetically.
Yeah.
Gender is what you feel inside. And,
Yeah.
and sexuality is what you get put on a list for.
Yes, very much so.
Ah, you've actually taught Mr. Badger something today.
It's
a
miracle.
I wasn't expecting to learn so much, but I've learned that all I've got to do is wear a dead paedophile's hairpiece, and I'm allowed it. What the? Why is there a naked picture of a man behind you?
I kicked about it. That's Adam Hughes. I think I'll have to cover that up. I'll sit here so his nipples are covered.
Why have you got a naked picture of a Scouse man behind you?
I flicked it by accident. I was trying to get back.
Of course you did. I can't even see what you're doing with your other hand, you dirty bastard. It's not enough that your missus won't bang you, now you're wanking over low-level British comedians.
Oh, low level. That's very generous.
It is. Anyway, we're not here to advertise Adam Hughes or his upcoming podcast. We're here for you because you've come to talk about gender today because you're doing your own podcast, aren't you? Called I'm a Wrong'un.
That's my Patreon.
Yeah.
No, my podcast is called Toxic Femininity, and I talk a lot about being gender fluid and stuff which I think people don't usually talk about or they feel awkward talking about.
I don't feel awkward talking about anything.
I think that's very much unique to you, Mr. Badger.
It is, yeah. I think a lot more people should be like me, where they're not afraid to be who they want to be.
Yeah, but then a lot more children would be traumatized if more people were like you.
But do you not think that everybody should just say and do what they want to do? And if you're not happy with it, then you don't mix with them people. You don't deal with it.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I think, like, if it gets to hate crime level, then stop. But yeah, I think people should be a lot more free to just let people do what they want to do.
So people should be all right to be a paedophile. I'm splicing this up. You can't get out of it. I've already made you say yes. So, sorry, Sam, what was the name of your podcast again?
Toxic Femininity. If you're searching it on YouTube, I spelled it wrong.
You spelled it wrong. Have you not thought about changing it? That might be an idea.
It's spelled wrong on the thumbnail, and I can't be arsed asking Rachel to do another one. So if you just Google Serrano, my last name, it'll come up.
Click on Serrano, like the ham.
Like the ham, yes.
Yeah. And look for a misspelt podcast that neither you nor your asexual partner managed to work out. You're supposed to be the bright generation. What the fuck?
She's dyslexic as well, and I messaged her going, Rachel, you've spelt it wrong. Can you change it? She went, I can't have spelt it wrong. I copied it from the YouTube title, and then I realised I'd actually spelt it wrong.
At least we know why you're dating her now, because you're getting her to do all the artwork for you.
Yeah, she's a photographer as well. I'm saving millions on.
Oh, would she like to take some tasteful nudes of an old badger?
I think she's already taken them in private, Badger.
Well, please send them across if the camera lens hasn't cracked. It's been lovely having you on, and I hope people are enlightened by today's podcast.
I hope so.
And I hope a lot more places will let me into the female toilets. Okay, well, say goodbye to the boys and girls, Samuel.